We're going to continue lesson 3 with a couple more examples. So again, we always have to check, are we equal to 0? We are not. So I have 6n squared plus 4n plus 3 equals 0. So A is 6, B is 4, and C equals 3. When I go to my formula, I've got the opposite of B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. So I have negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 72 all over 12. Now right there, I see a problem because this value under the radical is going to end up being negative, and that can't happen. So I can stop and say no solution. This equation does not cross the x-axis. How does that happen? This is an open up parabola, and what the graph of this is going to end up looking like is going to be something like this, where the vertex, the bottom of it, is somewhere above the x-axis. So there is no solution. As soon as you see that negative under the radical, you can be done and write no solution. This one seems very messed up, so we have to get these two guys over here. So I have 6k squared minus k minus 70 equals 0. A is 6, B is negative 1, C is negative 70. The opposite of B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. So I have 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 plus 1681, or 1680, excuse me, all over 12. When I go ahead and add these, I'm going to have 1 plus or minus the square root of 1681 over 12. And we need to factor 1681. If you take a quick check in your calculator, it is a perfect square. So I have 1 plus the square root of 41, 1 plus 41 squared. It's a perfect square. So I can just go ahead and write 1 plus or minus 41 over 12. When you end up with those bigger values, I would check if they are perfect squares. If they are not, then go ahead and factor. So my two problems are 1 plus 41 divided by 2, or 1 minus 41 divided by 2. So I have 42 divided by 2, which is 21. Or I have negative 40 divided by 2, which is negative 20. When I get nice, neat answers like that, it tells me it would have factored relatively easily. But if you don't see the factoring immediately, go ahead and use the quadratic formula. That is the end of today's lesson.